Well, we were in that tragic 7th of July 2005 and trying to get back to normal after the shocking news, not after the tragedy, trying to come back to normal in London. So, yeah, we did. After a while, we started taking the tube and buses again, and yeah, we didn't have a choice. So, life must continue. So, I continued calling my agency, trying to get these stupid, useless job interviews. They were really, really bad. One worse than the previous one. Most of them just for restaurant. Too many of us going for an interview, and I never had the phone call telling me that I could get the job. So yeah, so I kept in touch with this Portuguese guy. Um, you know, one of my few friends there back at the time in London, and they suggested me to check on gumtree.com, which is a good website, by the way, for anything, for buying stuff, selling stuff, trying to find jobs, trying to find accommodation in London. So yeah, so it was almost a couple of months in London, I guess, still no job. So I had no money enough for the residence, not even sharing room with these two guys I told you about. So I checked in Gumtree and I saw a very cheap flat, sharing room again. The flat, I don't know if I can call them a house or flat or something in between, was very central, was also the Bakerloo line in Zone 1. Edgware Road was the closest station in the Bakerloo line and was a Church Street. I forgot the name of the main road that go all the way from Hyde Park to Kilburn. Was just one road, but from that house to Hyde Park was like 15 minutes walking maybe. It was really good, and the price was about, I don't know if it was £50 per week or something like that. So I took it. I moved there. And what was the bad thing about it? It was 11 of us and only 3 rooms. And the landlord was Brazilian, so all the tenants were Brazilians too. There were 10 Brazilian guys and me. Actually, 4 girls also. 6 guys, 4 girls. The 4 girls were sharing one of the rooms. And yeah, another room with 3 guys, and in my room upstairs were 4 of us. So all of them Brazilians, all of them speaking Portuguese, and some of them speaking a tiny bit of English with me, but some of them knew also Spanish, so I wasn't gonna learn too much English language with them. So what else can I say? Well, I get really good. with some of them, and we used to walk to Hyde Park and play football there. And Brazilians, they were so good playing. A couple of them even in barefoot. They say they were much better playing in barefoot than with tennis. And they were great. Must be a natural talent there. They start doing acrobat things on the air, and I was really, really impressed. I was Argentinian and I didn't want to feel too embarrassed, but yeah, I couldn't do what they did. I used to play as a defender, yeah, better that way. Um, well, the thing is that another tragic day in London arrived. Let's see if I found pictures here. Yeah. So after the 7/7, as I told you, were so much panic in the streets, and the police had the option to shoot to death if they had any person who they thought could be a terrorist. So they, in that picture, let's see, this is De Menezes with a Brazilian electrician guy, so a normal guy surviving in London, 27-year-old, and they thought he could be this other guy. So he had nothing to do with him. He was just a normal guy. And it was unbelievable that day. The guy was going to work. He was going to take the tube in Brixton, and they closed the station precisely because of they were looking for this guy, I think. And he took a bus from Brixton to the closest tube station. Nobody stopped him. They could stop him, no, before taking the bus on the bus or trying to talk to him. I don't know why, but he took the bus. He got off in Stockwell, and over there he he took the tube. He took the Metro newspaper as normal, and he sat on the tube, and all of a sudden the police came and started shooting at him. I think it was 11 times, 7 of them on the head. So the investigation was very weird. I think they should have apologized straight away and resign, at least the police chief, because it was one of the biggest mistakes, one of the, yeah, maybe the biggest mistake of the Metropolitan Police ever, shooting an innocent guy 7 times on the head. But instead of the was everything really bad, the investigation, and it took years and years, and at the end I think they apologized and they gave De Menezes family £100,000, you know, how you call it, indemnization. I don't know, they pay for the funeral expenses, but you know, they can't give the guy leave back. So for me, it's really bad. You know, it will be never be forgotten. Young Charles De Menezes. So, and it was a very, very big impact. Imagine that happened when I was living in that flat, only with Brazilians. So they used to go to demonstrations, you know, protesting against the police when they could, but most of them were working. So yeah, thinking about it now, I feel really bad about it. So it was panic to terrorists, but now we were also afraid from those who were supposed to protect us if they think we could be a suspect ourselves. Anyone can be a suspect, anyone can be, you know, stressed in the early morning, having, you know, maybe the previous day, a bad day at work, and carrying a bag because you can be an electrician or a plumber or anything, you need your tools. So anyone could be a suspicious guy. It could happen to any of us. So it was crazy, crazy times, man. But yeah, I I lived there with the Brazilians. I think it was like a couple of months, maybe from July to September 2005. Had a good time with them, but I was also worried about not getting the job and start thinking that, you know, the possibility to come back to Spain feeling like a loser was getting bigger and bigger. Um, yeah, at least I could, you know, talk to the guys, Spanish. Sometimes they speak just Portuguese, and they spoke just Portuguese and me Spanish, and we could understand each other roughly. We used to drink mate in the kitchen, and yeah, talking about football. It was the first time I heard the name of Carlitos Tevez, I remember, because yeah, I was not too much into sports in these years, and he was playing in Brazil, I think maybe Corinthians. So one of the Brazilians was a Corinthians fans, and he said he loved Carlitos. So yeah, but all of a sudden, and when I lost almost any hope, and I had to ask the landlord, whose name was Junior, I think, to for a delay in the payment of the weekly rent. And thanks God, he was a nice guy, so he said, okay, yeah. Finally, the agency got a job for me after, I don't know, from maybe, yeah, 1.5 months with them, I don't know. By the end of July. And it was an amazing job. You didn't really need too much English for that. And I think it was the last try for any of us to get a job when we were really desperate. And the job was working in the Royal Parks of London, that is Green Park, St James's Park, Hyde Park, Kensington Gardens, and Regent's Park. What we had to do, we worked with the so-called deck chairs in the parks. We open deck chairs, almost like hammock, very comfortable seats for people. It was like a tourist trap. Most of the guys over there in central London in the parks were tourists, so they sat there thinking that the chairs were for free, and we had a strategy. We let them sit for a couple of minutes to feel okay, comfortable, and then after 2-3 minutes we approach with a massive, heavy ticket machine, a metal ticket machine hanging from our necks, and we almost memorize, with a very bad English, we memorize that we sell tickets for the deck chairs, and the people were like almost terrified when we say that, oh, it's not for free. And because they were sitting for a few minutes, some of them felt guilty and they agreed to pay, I think was like £1.50 for 2 hours or £2 for 4 hours. So some of them paid, but most of them just got up and walked away. So that was the job. Interesting, eh? Opening hundreds of chairs, and yeah, the whole day from early morning, maybe 9 in the morning, and in the summertime, the sun goes down later and later, so the whole day there, as long as is you can see something, we were still there like 12 hours maybe, having just some little rest to eat a sandwich or whatever the managers gave you, because they used to come with a van inside the park and check on us from time to time. They even check how much we were selling, and like any job, pushing us, trying to make us sell more and more tickets. So we had the money from on Friday from the previous week. So I started really, really badly. They didn't call me too much at the beginning because were too many of us. But I managed to pay the rent to Junior. And yeah, then they realized I was a very hard worker guy, and the things start getting a bit better for me. Finally. But we will continue in the next episode. So yeah, as I always say, subscribe to the channel, click like, share the video, and let me know if you enjoy these London stories. And I will continue. It's too much to talk about, and I got only this tour, my memory. So yeah, be good, guys.